We've come a long way from that filthy swamp, haven't we? You've given us a victory that will be remembered for years to come. Escorting you to the causeway is the least that we can do. Are you ready to go?
Yes. Let's head to the causeway.
We've had rumors of another battle. Is it true? Jane Cassinda's army retreating in disarray?
Disarray is too kind a word. I might say panic, or terror instead.
And Rosalind, what did you think of her? Worthy to wear the crown, or no?
She's young and soft-hearted. With guidance, she could become strong.
Soft-hearted is a bit of an understatement. Tell them how she asked us to be nice to Jane Cassinda.
I think that bodes well for us. Strength can be learned. Empathy and compassion cannot.
What about our proposal? Does she favor the Legion?
Rosalind agreed to an alliance. She and Devonsey gave their word.
Well done. But that's not all, is it?
Hugh Montbaron tried to overthrow the old king. The murder was an accident, but Devonsey said...
No more. I don't want to hear. You think I hadn't guessed it was something like that? I still called it a lie. We can't tell this story, not ever.
The people already heard this from Jane. It's too late to hide the truth.
If we win this war, Jane will be dead. Her words become lies, and ours become truth.
You're wrong, Odo. The story needs to be told, or the lesson will never be learned.
And what then? The people won't blame Montbaron. They'll paint the whole Legion with the same bloody brush. Kingslayers forevermore. We'll be feared. No matter how virtuous we seem, we'll always be a threat.
Better that the people hear the truth from our lips. I won't lie to them.
Indeed. I don't think deception was ever part of the Legion Code.
I was half afraid that Martin might say something like this. But you too?
The Legion will be better for this, not worse. The Crown as well. If we all know the story and remember it, we won't repeat the same mistakes. We've made our choice. Let's speak of something else. What else?
Jane Cassinda is the daughter of the old king. She told me herself. You never knew?
I always thought that was just a rumor. This changes things.
If Jane Cassinda is the old king's daughter, then she has a claim to the throne. Probably thinks it's her right.
Better to strike now while she's off balance. Still reeling from her loss at Glitterdale.
Jane must have a stronghold, and it's probably well guarded. We need an army of our own.
We've already sealed an alliance with the Meisters. Perhaps they'll lend us their automaton army.
I'll speak to the council. I think the Meisters will agree.
Hard to predict what the council will do, but you're probably right. We'll wait for your word.
Please comply with all local laws and customs. Please spend your currency at local markets.
go buy some shit for my characters. All green items. I gotta upgrade him. Wow, that thing is expensive.
A human generation has gone by without the Legion here to settle disputes. At last, that tradition returns to Stonebridge. I know you have evil to smite, so it means a lot to me and to the city that you can take time for the little things. Here's a little something for your efforts. Now be careful out there.
Ah, the envoy from the 10th Legion. Always a pleasure to receive our good friend.
We plan to attack Jane Cassinder, but we can't defeat her alone. The Legion needs your automaton army.
And leave our city undefended? That, seems rather rash, does it not?
Irrelevant. We made a contract with the Legion, Meister Grimmelhaus. The Council is not above the law.
I suppose...
Capital! I can have the automatons ready in short order. Shall I make ready to leave? I should warn you, we may not return to Stonebridge again before this war is over.
How many automatons are left? I destroyed a lot of them.
The Gent only managed to take control of about half of our automatons, and not all of those were destroyed, so the army is intact. Jane's forces may outnumber us, but her soldiers have never faced automatons before. I dare say that will work in our favor.
I don't see any reason to wait. We'll leave for the Spire as soon as you're able.
The Spire stands atop Mount Jereb. That's a week's march from here, on foot. Our automatons will assault the town of Aegis Bay at the foot of the mountain. They'll engage Jane's forces and provide a distraction, you see. That will give you a chance to climb the trails to the top of the mountain and assault the Spire itself. It will be an honor to fight alongside the Legion, and may fortune smile upon our endeavor.
At long last, the tide turned. No longer was the 10th Legion fighting a defensive war. With the automaton army of Stonebridge behind us, we took the battle to our enemy. Under the command of Martin Guiscard and Meister Wolf, our army poured forth from Stonebridge in a flood of iron and flame. The journey was a long one and difficult. Had you marched with soldiers of flesh and blood, I do not doubt that many would have died, but the automatons were tireless. At last you reached your goal, the Spire. Crowning the sacred mountain of Jereb, it was the heart of Jane Cassinder's strength. No army had ever conquered it. Azunite zealots and Stonebridge automatons clashed at the mountain's foot. Blind faith and cold reason struggled for dominance as the ground churned with oil and blood. Above the clamor of the battle, you ascended a forgotten path up the mountain, seeking the Spire itself.
The walls are close here. If it comes to a fight, we won't have room.
Wait, no weapons. We've come to talk, not...
Quickly, Rajani. We shouldn't be here.
Jane doesn't know you're here, does she?
We only speak for ourselves, not for Our Lady.
Jane is first among our sisters, like her mother before her. We don't want to betray her, but...
Jane has lost her way. She talks of visions and dreams. A great tree, carrion birds. She claims to hear the voices of our lost gods in her mind.
And that's so what do you propose?
You spared my life in Raven's Rill. And when you spoke to Jane in Glitterdelve, you weren't the monster that she said you'd be. I don't want to see my sisters destroyed in Jane's pointless war. Too few of us are left. We ask for your mercy, for our sisters and for Jane herself. In return, we'll grant you whatever aid we can.
I want to know more about you before I decide.
Quickly then, before someone sees us.
Can you tell me who you are? Where you came from?
The people of Ebb call us Archons, but we have no such name for ourselves. We're just sisters, as we've always been. Our only history comes from myths and legends. They say that we served the Creator Gods before they tumbled to Earth. We have no memory of that time. Our first awareness came with a sense of terrible loss, but we cannot remember what came before.
If you've lost confidence in Jane, why follow her at all? Choose a new leader.
Leadership is no matter of choice, not for us. We are bound to Jane, just as we were bound to her mother.
The first sister burns brightest of all. Her fire sustains us. Snuff her out, and we would all begin to fade. Jane's mother was first sister. What happened to her?
She died at the moment Jane was born. Her fire was passed to her daughter, and her body became an empty shell. The faces of mother and daughter may be different, but the divine spark, the fire that sustains them, that is the same.
You'd help me defeat your own sisters? How?
We can withdraw from the battle for a start. Of all Jane's handmaids, we are ranked first, and she relies upon us to guide the others.